Well, what nepotism? My God, the kind of nepotism that has taken place and corruption that has taken place in the last 10 years, the levels have touched sky high. Right? So let's not talk about nepotism and corruption. He's been talking about it for the last 10 years. Let him say, with his hand on his heart, that he has eliminated corruption in this country. Let him say that. Right? The fact of the matter is that as far as the Uniform Civil Code is concerned, what's the problem? You can have a dialogue. We're welcome. I think we should all welcome it, have a dialogue. But the fact of the matter is what you've been doing for the last 10 years. You've been actually setting a divisive agenda. The kind of language that you have used in the course of your election meetings, even in the last 2024 elections. You know, talking of certain community as infiltrators in this country. Your chief minister in Assam talks about, after love jihad, he talks about flood jihad with respect to a university which is one of the top 200 universities in this country. Right? Your Kavariyas in Uttar Pradesh, they give a directive that you must give the name of the owner, but you don't say a thing about it. If akhlaq is dealt with by somebody, you don't talk. If a member of parliament who is speaking and your member in the BJP talks of, a language which I can't even repeat, it is so ugly, right? You don't say a word. The Prime Minister doesn't say a word, right? So what are you talking about? Uniform Civil Code. First, you have to be civil. First one has to be civil, right? Then uniformity comes. In the absence of civility and the kind of things that have been happening in the last 10 years, targeting people because what they eat, the pink revolution, because the clothes they wear, what's happening to my country? This is not acceptable. Yes, you should have a dialogue. And if you're so concerned, I'm very upset at the fact that the Hindus are being targeted in Bangladesh. And many of them have come to the border of us, and said that please let us in. But you're not letting them in. Why? You're not concerned about them? Of course you're concerned about them. But your politics is what? That if they come to Assam, it will disturb the politics there. So your agendas are political. Your speeches are different. Reality on the ground is just the opposite. Now, when you talk about infiltrators, who are the real infiltrators in this country? The real infiltrators in this country are those who actually topple elected governments by making people ministers, giving them all kinds of, giving them hope that we will do this for them, that for them, and other things which I don't want to talk about. Right? So you topple governments in this fashion, and several governments. This is infiltration into the democratic system. It is infiltration to misuse the 10th schedule. It is infiltration if you just remove the names of people on the eve of from the electoral roll on the eve of an election. It is infiltration if you don't allow people to move out of their houses and vote. It is infiltration you start checking each burqa. What are we talking about? Let's see. No Prime Minister in this country, and I can say with a sense of responsibility, has ever made the kind of divisive statements that our dear Prime Minister has made.
So the other question that I want to ask, that it is expected that the Election Commission will announce the election dates for the assembly election in the states like Jammu and Kashmir and Haryana. So how do you see that?
Well, when this matter ended at the time when 370 was being argued, the Solicitor General at the end made a statement that, yes, statehood would be given, and September was the date. Right? Now, of course, in the meantime, they had passed the Jammu Kashmir Reorganization Act. Now, the Jammu Kashmir Reorganization Act gives all the powers, concentrates all the powers on the governor. If it's police, the governor is in charge. If it's public order, governor is in charge. If it's home, governor is in charge. Or discretionary powers are with the governor. Right? The governor decides even on cabinet agendas. No cabinet agenda can be moved without the approval of the governor. Right? So what kind of elected government do you have? There may be supplicants. Right? The real power is with the governor. So if you want to restore democracy, and you've been saying that, look, Jammu Kashmir normalcy has been restored, lots of tourists are going, lots of people are going, there's peace in Kashmir, so then why don't you have full elections and give statehood if all that is true, right? And you've seen the ugly head of terrorism that we have seen rise in the Jammu and the Doda, Riyasi region. We've seen that, right? Now the fact of the matter is that people from outside Pakistan will certainly disturb the peace because there's an election on. So terrorism will not go. So your claim that terrorism has come down is also not correct, because if you look at the data prior to 2014, terrorism was lower than it is today, the incidence of terrorism. Right? So therefore, let's be clear. The reality on the ground is entirely different from what they say in Parliament and to the nation of this country. Right? And if you want a uniform civil code, let's have a discussion. As far as uniform civil code is concerned, the maintenance is given now by courts to Muslim women. Maintenance is given. Triple talaq is out. But our Hindu women are being thrown out from their house. No, nothing for them. They run from pillar to post. What about that? So it's unfortunate. And I think that we should have constructive agendas in this country. Constructive agendas means talk of the youth, talk of employment. And instead of taking money through electoral bonds, use that money to invest in children, in education, in health.
For exclusive and insightful videos, subscribe to our new channel, ABP Live Premium.